this lesson we're going to be looking at dividing fractions. By the end of the lesson we must be able to divide one fraction by another. We should be able to answer word problems involving division of fractions, and some of us could be able to do fraction calculations involving several multiplications or divisions. Okay, so if we have a look at the first example, how many quarters are there in a square? So we have one square and we're dividing it into quarters. Okay, so that's what we're really saying. One square, divide it into quarters. How many quarters have I got? It's going to be 4. Okay, the next example, how many 6 are there in 2 squares? So we take our square and we divide it into 6. So it's like we're saying we've got 2 squares and we're dividing it into 6. How many 6 have I got in 2? I've got 6 here and 6 here, so that gives me 12. There's a little rule that we can use. So to divide fractions, we turn one fraction upside down and then we multiply. So if we use that rule for this, we turn the fraction upside down, so 1, and then the fraction turns into 4 over 1, and we multiply. 1 times 4 is 4. 1, it's like saying 1 times 1 is 1. Okay, so 4 divided by 1 is going to be 4. If we do the same for the next example, we had 2, I'm going to flip over my 6, and then I multiply. 2 times 6 is 12, 1 times 1 is 1. 12 divided by 1 is 12. Okay, so we get the same answer. So that's the little trick that we need to use. Okay, so we're going to use that rule to answer these next questions. So 5 over 6 divided by 2 over 3. So we're going to turn one of the fractions upside down. So I'm leaving 5 over 6 as it is. Flip over the 2 over 3. So that gives me 3 over 2, and then I multiply. And now in the last session we know how to multiply fractions. 5 times 3 is 15, 6 times 2 is 12, and then I can simplify. So that gives me 5 over 4. Okay, the next example. Okay, we're going to have to convert these into top-heavy fractions. So 2½ is the same as 5 over 2. And we're going to divide that by 4/3. Okay, so we turn one of the fractions upside down and then we multiply. So 5 times 3 is 15, 2 times 4 is 8. So 2½ divided by 1 and 1/3 is going to be 15 over 8. Okay, so you're going to use the same rule to answer the following questions. I'm going to press pause and then I'll go through the answers with you. Okay, so here are the answers. Question 1 is quite straightforward. So for the mixed numbers you need to change it into top-heavy fractions, and then you flip over the fraction and then you multiply. So question 2 says, for a party, Zahar made 12½ litres of lemonade. His glasses could each hold 5/16 of a litre. How many of the glasses could he fill from the 12½ litres of lemonade? So we've got a 12½ and we're going to split it into 5/16. Okay, and then we get 40 glasses. Question 3, how many strips of ribbon, each 3½ centimetres long, can I cut from a roll of ribbon that is 52½ centimetres long? So I've got the 52½ centimetres of ribbon and I'm going to cut it into 3½ centimetre lengths. Okay, so I'm dividing by 3½ and that gives me 15. So I can have 15 strips of ribbon. Here are the next questions. Okay, so here are the answers. For question 4, it says Joe's stride is 3/4 of a metre long. How many strides does he take to walk along a bus 12 metres long? So we've got 12 metres and we're splitting it into 3/4 and we get 9. Okay, you're going to evaluate the following and leave your answers as mixed numbers wherever possible. So those are your answers. Be careful when you come to 5E and F because you've got brackets as well, so you need to do what's inside the brackets first and then what is outside. So for example, you need to do 2/5 times 2/5, 5/6 times 5/6, and then multiply those two answers together. Okay, the same for the next one. We've got 4/5 times 4/5, and then you're going to have 1 1/4 times 1 1/4, and then divide your answers. Okay, so here is some more questions for your homework.